Good morning, this is VJ Franz K. Just noticed on Steam this new VR app, Masterpiece VR. And I did one model with it and, just testing the features. And I thought I would do another one while filming, now that I know the basics. But the good news with this one is that it sort of has a lot of different features that look familiar from the other VR art apps that you might have already used. Look up there. We're in this sort of sci-fi room. This is one of, look at that, the camera's watching, and then it puts up the thing on that screen. So this is one of a few different, painting areas that they have to choose from. And yes, there is a blank gray one, and there's also a night sky, and a few different ones, and a beach. But this one, sort of a sci-fi complex. So anyway, what do we have here? So the special thing about Masterpiece VR is that it combines the drawing style interface of something like Tilt Brush or, see, we have these brush type things. This is very much like one of the decorative brushes on Tilt Brush or something. And notice my Vive controllers are already supported. Or not Vive. These are my Oculus Rift controllers. And I assume if I'm using a Vive, then I would see Vive wands here instead. But anyway, there's the drawing, the brush drawing mode. And let's see what happens if I erase. So you get that sort of familiar experience. But then, let's see, I'll change my brush style. The spike is kind of a cool looking one. Looks a bit like a lightning bolt, if you notice. A bit like a lightning bolt. It's an interesting shape. Oh, look at that. If you turn it on its side, you get this sort of lightning bolt look. Or it could be the spikes on the back of a dragon or something like that, Fun. So we have these, sort of brush style things, but then also in the same program, in the same file, I could do, there's a donut, also known as a torus, pyramid, cone, sphere, basic sort of platonic and 3D modeling familiar shapes. And in this case, they want me to model inside this particular box. Even though, interestingly enough, and I can, change the size of the box at will, but I can draw outside the box. But I must model inside the box, or sculpt. So here is this thing, and by using the thumbstick, I can change the size of the thing that is emerging, and they have this nice, the controls are very clear. That's good. There's this sort of hovering three-dimensional shape here, which indicates exactly where I'm going to be putting down my shapes. And notice I have the toon shading activated. See, on the options. And I can turn it off, and then I get the more realistic standard shading. I can turn the toon shading on. I like the toon shading. That's cool. One thing I'd like is toon edges as well as the toon shading, but I'm sure they can get that eventually. But anyway, when I have laid down a sculpt, I can erase away bits of that sculpt, just like it were Oculus Medium or something like that. So carefully erasing away bits of what I've already put out there. So that's good. Seems to be working already for them. And let's see, I have other standard things I might want to do, like smooth. After I erase away some of the things, can leave these sort of rough polygon edges. So then I smooth it down. All of these seem to work like you want, and I don't know, this sort of simple, sensical interface. You notice for a lot of the modeling options, if I want, I could smooth within a cone, which, there might be a reason why you'd want to do that. Or say, if I want to bulge this thing out, then that'll sort of make it conform to being inside the cone rather than, other ways that it might do that. Standard undo, that's good. We do have a mirror mode here, and it activates this orange sort of holographic line here. And then I'll be, let's see, put in another color there. So put in, yep, can be sculpting with the cone. I'm going to enlarge the area here, so I'm dealing with a larger area so I don't run to the edge of that. Now, the big news that I was just reading the message board for this, the big news appears to be that this is a collaborative, starting to look like a cactus or something. They're going to make it a collaborative. I think it actually might be already runnable as multiplayer. So you go in here and you start a room or you join somebody else's room, and then you can have fun modeling or drawing the same thing together. So that's cool. So you just try the pyramid out. All different shapes. So I can use this for the Great Pyramids, which is a band project that I work on. And as I mentioned, it's a lot like Medium in that we're sort of laying down these complicated polygon objects. But I would like the ability to just lay down perfect platonic shapes, like just one pyramid that is just there, rather than having these, extra polygons added. And most of the apps don't have that yet, so I'd kind of like that. Or here's red boxes. Notice we do have those edges there. Anyway, so I'm not sure if any of the other art apps have a torus or donut, as it is called commonly by people. See, you can use that to make pipes or something. Then do a line draw with it. Yeah, that's how it looks like a big skateboard wheel all of a sudden, doesn't it? Look at that. Yeah, it's a skateboard wheel. That's cool. Or it could be, part of a robot or a sci-fi sort of. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, for interest, I could deliberately sculpt right up to the edge of that modeling cube, and then use that to some creative purpose. Interesting. Oh, I have a line erase. Oh, I see. So line draw puts, look at that, a negative space pipe cutting out its shape through a positive space pipe. That's kind of interesting how that ends up looking. Anyway, more stuff. The pinch, I'll put it back on a more standard sphere. So then we can just try, yeah, looks like this is a new addition to the bunch of VR art apps, but it's already a good and usable one. So good job, Masterpiece VR. Looks like you might be making a masterpiece. Why not? Bulge. Let's see, try that. Actually, I probably can't use these tools on the drawn lines. It would be kind of interesting if then I could transform the drawn lines into modelable shapes. That could be an interesting feature. But it's already impressive just to have the two kinds of things existing in the same world together. So already good. Let's see, pinch. So this pulls outward like a spike. That's useful. Say if you want, pointed shapes, fins or spikes or edges or something. It's good to be able to do points and spikes because edges, thorns, dragon fins, teeth, these things, because so much of this 3D modeling ends up looking like blobs. If you're not paying attention, pretty soon you end up with a lot of blobs. Very sort of rounded off, amorphous blobs, you might say. Smudge. Now, in this case, smudge, not sure exactly what it does. Oh, I see. So I'm taking these polygons that I have within the smudge zone, and then I'm going to shove them over, sort of like I was smudging using the smudge tool on a Photoshop. Oh, look at that. That's pretty interesting. Even though it can completely morph your shapes. And I don't think they have layers on this yet, so I bet they will, before too long, have layers, and that will be nice because then you'll be able to smudge some part of it. Well, actually, it's quite a... You could model some interesting organic shapes just by putting down a few simple shapes and then smudging them into something more. Oops, I smudged it out of existence. Oh well, at least I have a little bit of extra space in my zone there. See, bulge or shrink, twist. Oh, I just want to show you. I'm going to start spray some purple there. So spray that, and this, and there. So look at that. Got the edges there. And it doesn't look the greatest. If you want, like, but then color blur tool blurs out the colors nicely, sort of makes a clean gradation. Yeah, that could be useful. Get nice, smooth organic colors on creatures or plants or planets, whatever, A lot of times, colors on real objects are not hard edges. They've got a... You know what? I'm going to turn off my mirror mode here. Where's it? Yeah, look. This teleport, the swap, I can switch my handedness, so I can go back to pretending to be right-handed, or then go back, and let's see, environments, I can switch my rooms. Now they have a beach, space, simple, zones. Wait, this is the beach. It's an art studio, and this is a hovering castle area, hovering islands or something. Wait, I went in here so I could turn off. I'm trying all the different VR programs right now, so gotta just remember where everything is or isn't. Okay, so turn that off, and it's off now. So now I can go back in here, draw some more stuff. They give you a few different brushes. not quite as complicated as, say, tilt brush, but, you know, some of the stuff on tilt brush is really, really sort of super visually loud. It might be too much for some projects, you know? So with tilt brush, you kind of, they give you some of these brushes which are really, really out there and sort of up to you to rein yourself in a bit and make something that doesn't look like a kind of came out of an eye candy store or something. But here I am specifying lightning. That's cool. There. It's interesting. By tilting my edge into it, I can sort of flatten out or increase that width. I guess I'm twisting it. That's a nice looking lightning effect. It's subtle. Ghost, unicorn. I was using the unicorn before. Fire. So this is one that sort of burns to the left or to the yeah, it's spreading out in both directions. It's a bit more subtle than the tilt brush fire, which you cannot ignore. Let's see, blob, rainbow, still same type of thing here. So there's the size. Anyway, grab. Now in this case, the way they're doing the grab is so now I can see the overlying polygons of this thing that I put down. So now that's interesting. So I can grab some parts and not others based on what is inside this thing. What happens? Oh, I see. So this grab and move thing is only for my sketchy pieces or my drawing pieces and not my modeling. That's okay, as long as you just understand the difference between the two styles of creation here, and you use the right one for the right situation. Well, here's another muddled up mess, but I'll draw something for real in just a minute. So right now there's not many people using it, but you know, it's early in the morning, so I could start one. Can I start one? All right, maybe it's not activated yet, but I'll come back and do it later. And I guess I'll save this and select a slot, save. Then put up another snapshot here. Snap. There. Did that, and I noticed they also have a movie export that you could do, which I was trying earlier. So I'll clear the scene, erase the scene, yes. All right, this has been my first look at Masterpiece VR, another virtual reality modeling app. Wow, a lot of, I guess this is the fire here. Anyway, guess I will start recording a second video. Put some red fire over the whole situation. I'll start recording a second video, which is modeling something specific. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Probably a robot or something simple to show you guys. BJ Franz K, please subscribe here on YouTube. Please become my patron on Patreon. Keeps everything going.